Hey friends, welcome back. Hope you're having a blessed day. For those of you who don't know us, I'm Mark. I'm a certified health coach, and this is Teresa. She's a board certified family nurse practitioner. We're with Total Health and Wellness, and we like to talk about hormones, metabolic health, and everything in between. And so what are we going to talk about tonight?
So we're going to talk about one myth, one of many, that is kind of irritating about low carb.
Right on. But before we do that, I wanted to talk really quick about some housekeeping items. For those of you who don't know us or are new to the channel, welcome. So we're on 3 different platforms. We're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, and we're on Instagram. So you can follow us on any one of those platforms. And just a reminder to those on Facebook is that Facebook is doing a sweeping deal where they're actually going to go in and start clearing out all the live videos we've ever done in the past. And for those of you who have been following us for a while, you probably already know that that's mostly what we do. Yeah. So most of our archives are going to be wiped off of Facebook. So in the interim, what we're doing is until we can find a solution for it, we're going to be posting to YouTube. We're going to be recording the video, posting to YouTube, and then we'll be sharing the YouTube video with those of you guys on Facebook. So
I don't think that gets a lot of traction on Facebook, so we might not grow on Facebook that way, but we do if you share. If you share.
Yeah, if you share and you comment and you give us the little thumbs up and things like that, all that stuff helps us and we appreciate it. Yeah. Okay, that was all I wanted to cover for the housekeeping. So Teresa, you want to take it away?
Yeah, so something I hear all the time, and it's usually by not just Mark, but what are called shills or trolls, because I am sometimes not very, sometimes it takes a while, but I've probably asked Mark 20 times over the last 3 years, why is this person saying this? It's clearly not true. And he always says, remember, some of these people are paid shills. So one thing that always comes up is when we talk about spiking your blood sugar, these people will come and counter those videos and say, you were designed to have your blood sugar spike. And when it spikes, you release insulin, and insulin brings your blood sugar down. It's a natural thing. That's how we were designed. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not pathological. It's not a disease, nothing wrong with it. And so my thing is, but we are doing it every 2 to 3 hours forever and ever. Amen. And so we don't want that. And the other thing is, someone like me or Mark, our blood sugar probably rests around 70, sometimes maybe even 60. And so if I eat oatmeal, say oatmeal or a banana, my sugar might only go to 170 or 160 from 60. But if a diabetic who starts at 120 to 140 has a banana or oatmeal, they're going to go well above 200. And that every few hours or even once every single day is not ideal. That's how you're going to burn your pancreas out.
Yeah. And another problem is probably 90-something% of the food that we're eating, it's actually more than that, are plant-based food-like products that are by nature very high in carbohydrate. Our ancestrally speaking, our diet has never been the way that it is right now, where we're constantly taking in carbohydrates. Remember, carbohydrates are nothing more than a complex form of sugar. Yeah. They're energy. There's 2 types of energy that our bodies can use. It can be fat, or it can be sugar. Yeah. And most of our energy is coming from sugar, but it's being deposited as fat via insulin. So because we're getting so much more of it than we need. Right. So what we're trying to say is, let's switch it. Let's try and use fat for fuel and stop storing the fat on our body. Instead, let's pull the fat out of our storage and utilize that for our fuel. Yeah.
And really quick, what people will also say is then you lose your ability to fight high sugar or sugar spikes. And so what that is, and this is important for pregnant people, pregnant women, when it comes time for your oral glucose tolerance test, where they load you with 75 grams of gross chemical laden sugar water, a sugary drink, and see how your body responds to test for gestational diabetes. If you're low carb, you will most likely fail that test. When you're low carb, so right now, Mark and I do not have whatever it is, I'm just making this up, but 5 teaspoons of insulin stored. It's not there because it's not needed in days and days and days. So that first spike of insulin, or that first, I don't know what the actual word is, I'm drawing a blank, but you're not going to get it. So it's going to be late. So your insulin eventually will spike and get your sugar down, but it's going to be delayed just slightly. So keep that in mind for oral glucose tolerance tests. And some people also say your body's it's going to forget what to do. Okay. If you don't have insulin always circulating, it's going to forget. And I just think I got pregnant at 36. My body didn't forget suddenly how to get pregnant when I got pregnant at 36. You could take birth control. You could, do whatever natural planning to not get pregnant. But when you try to get pregnant, your body's ready. Like it knows what it's supposed to do.
Yeah. The same argument's made sometimes with supplements. So they'll say, okay, if you take certain supplements, like I've heard DHEA before, your body will stop creating DHEA. That's true. Your body may reduce the amount of DHEA or stop making it altogether. However, when you cease taking the DHEA, your body is smart enough to recognize we've stopped making it. It's got to start ramping it up again, and we'll begin producing it again. So there is some truth to it, but it's only a half truth. So we just have to be careful with that.
But I see lots and lots of DHEA levels, and at our age, they're low. Yeah. So you're not where you want to be.
Yeah. And remember, Teresa is trying to optimize levels. That's the hormones across the board. That's reaching, supra physiological levels that are going to actually benefit you the way they benefited you when you were younger.
Yeah.
So
like I just had a guy in, his DHEA was 36. That's terrible. I want it at 500. It is going to read high on the labs because every decade your lab ranges go down and down and down. So a woman in her 70th year, 7th decade, her testosterone can't go above 2.4 or 3.7. Mine at 50 can go to 6.4. So,
while we're talking about that, let's talk a little bit about, because we were actually just chatting about this a little bit earlier. So there's some providers out there that we've seen on social media, and I'm sure there's plenty of others out there that will talk about how if your hormones are low, then you can supplement with this or that to help improve your hormones. Now, understand there is an element of truth to that. But again, that's not going to get you to the super physiological levels that what Teresa is going to do. It's not going to optimize your hormones. So I don't know if you want to talk about it.
Yeah, and I've talked about it before, but there's a very influential chiropractor that's well known on Facebook and Instagram. But he came on a little while ago and said, all you have to do for estrogen and progesterone is eat flaxseed and chia seeds. And I was like, I'm on 600 milligrams of progesterone, and I'm not letting anyone tell me I have to go lower than that. How much chia seeds would I have to eat for that? And then another naturopath that I send people to online was talking about dementia. And there are good studies in the neurology journals, which I talk about in the office every day. Testosterone in men turn to estrogen. They aromatize a little bit to estrogen. And then females make estrogen. But he was just saying males with dementia, we should check their testosterone level. But then it stopped right there. Because then he was like, then you can supplement to build testosterone levels with, zinc and whatever else. And first of all, men are a little bit different. They can hold on for a little bit longer than we can. But for women that lose their ovaries, how much chia seeds? You're not going to prompt your ovaries because they're not there. Mm-hmm. And then once your ovaries retire, like mine did at 50, you could prompt them all day long. And now you understand where the saying, you can't beat a dead horse, because you can beat on your ovaries, but if they're done, they're done. So you can't eat chia seeds or flax seeds or zinc
in the amount that's needed to get the levels that Teresa is mentioning, and that's not to say that these supplements and or these different herbs and whatnot are not beneficial. They can't help. Sure, they can help, and they'll actually, maybe it will increase your level somewhat. Yeah. But they're just not going to go. They're not going to take you where Teresa wants to take you, or another provider that's like Teresa.
And I do think men can get far with food and exercise, really far. But females, you're going to have hot flashes. You're going to have vaginal dryness. You're going to have painful sex. Like there's no amount of exercise or meat. Oh, we forgot to share your plate.
We're going to do it at the end. Yeah.
Or meat that can influence those levels. Like it just doesn't happen.
If you're a guy, eat red meat, lift heavy weights. And if you can go out and run really fast a couple times a week for a few times and build up your human growth hormone and your testosterone levels. And then, if your levels are appropriate for, some additional help, then see somebody like Teresa. Yeah. That brings up the point is in our description section on YouTube and or the comment section, we'll have a whole bunch of, on Facebook and Instagram in the comment section, we'll have a whole bunch of links to like Worldlink Medical, where you can find there's a provider directory. You can find providers who are trained similarly to Teresa, links to our website and our social media. There's all kinds of helpful links in there for you guys. So check that out too. Did you have anything else you wanted to say?
That's it.
All right. Well, let me go over what we had for dinner. I was supposed to do this at the beginning, but I kind of ran right over it. We're doing burgers tonight. So these burgers are 85% protein and 15% fat. So a little bit higher on the fat side, but not quite like our normal 70-30s that we do. But we've been trying these. We've had these a couple of times now, and we actually like the 85-15 a lot. So rather than going into Harder House and having them grind us up some special 70-30s, we've been giving those guys a break for a little while. So, excuse me. I do have a little bit of onion and tomato on my burgers. And then Teresa found some smoked fish bread also at Harder House today. So Probably not. I mean, there's probably a few things in there that are not great, but
Yeah.
we're not worried about it. I've got a spoonful in there for crying out loud.
Right.
We love smoked fish bread. And then there's some leftover crustless pizza that Teresa made. Do you want to talk about that real quick?
It's just Rao's sauce, very thin layer, mozzarella cheese, pepperoni, and then that has Italian seasoning and garlic.
Yep. And then we've got scrambled eggs with cheese. And then I just wanted to show you guys for our seasonings. Teresa likes Redmond's real salt. And you can buy this on Amazon. And the same thing with, I like the Jane's Crazy mixed up seasoning. So you guys can find both of these on Amazon. That's where we get them. Or you can buy them directly from the manufacturer too, or at the store.
Yeah, and that's why we call ourselves ketovore. So 90% carnivore and 10% to have fish bread, onion and tomato, Rosette's dough mix.
Yeah.
You know.
We had Brussels sprouts over the weekend.
On Sunday.
Every now and then, Teresa will do a broccoli with cheese that she bakes in the oven or broils and comes out really crispy. It's good. You have a cauliflower mash that's absolutely delicious that we do. And most of you guys have seen that have been following us for a while. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of veg in there too.
And coffee.
And then we both drink coffee. We do. I'm especially bad. I have a couple of cups every day. But I love my coffee. So I guess I'm not carnivore completely.
No, you'd get kicked out.
I would get kicked out. Anyway. All right. Well, what else?
That's it.
That's it. All right, guys. As always, we love you all. God bless you. And we'll see you next time. And don't forget, food matters.
Bye.
Bye.